Hey guys, it's me, Darcy, joined today, as always, by Kris.
I am here once again.
Yes, he is, and he's been through the wars this week. And welcome again to the Unnamed podcast, where we talk rubbish for about an hour.
Yeah.
Or sometimes longer.
Quite often longer.
If it's fucking longer, it kills me. It's so hard to edit things that long. I just want this to be a nice, easy edit for me. You know, when I can sit down, do it in an hour, don't have to do any work. That's all I want. Yeah. Is that too much to ask for? So we'll kick things off. You'll notice that Kris is not in a professional position today, and that's because, like an idiot...
Look, hang on. I was focused on something else.
Like an idiot, he forgot to breathe and then broke his ankle.
I didn't break it.
You tried.
It was a solid effort.
He tried. Yes, so welcome again. As always... We should have something planned that we're going to talk about, but we don't. Or at least, well, I should, because Kris is, as we said, he's a pretty face that fails at his job. He brings nothing. He brings nothing to this equation. Nothing at all.
Damn.
No, yeah, so we're back. What's happening in the world this week? Stuff that I don't really care about. A lot of stuff that... World's a big place. There's so much going on. But what I do care about is video games. Yes. And this week I bought a video game. Which isn't really any different from every other week. Video games like every week. True. It's like, you know, on any given day, you're likely to have found that I bought a video game. But I was really upset by Kris.
What did I do?
Yes, what did you do? No, what Kris did is Kris bought the new Pokemon game without any consolation between myself and him. And I get what you're thinking, guys. Guys, you're not tiny kids on the playground anymore. You don't need to plan out your buying of video games. But the thing is, with Pokemon, we do. Because Pokemon always comes out in a set. And I can't be buying the same game as you. And I know people go like, just buy them both so you get all the Pokemon. I ain't playing the same game twice. I don't even particularly like the new Pokemon games. I ain't playing it twice just to get two different Pokemon.
That's fair. That is fair.
Pokemans. So Kris went ahead and bought the new Pokemon game without any consolation from me.
I was talking to Nick about it.
He was talking to Nick, so at least there was some consultation.
So
but he didn't.
I can still get the exclusives.
He didn't talk to Nick. Didn't talk to me. And it hurt me. It hurt my feelings a lot.
My bad.
So he went ahead and he went and bought it.
Yeah.
And then I, fortunately for Kris, otherwise we would have had to put him down. We're heading that way anyway.
We probably just should anyway.
Yeah. Fortunately, he bought the one that I didn't want to buy, so there was no consultation needed. Thankfully.
Yes.
For similar reasons as to why I wanted to buy the one Scarlet. I wanted to buy Scarlet. He bought Violet because he likes the look of a Pokemon in it, and I like the look of a Pokemon in it also. Mind you, his is a weird one that doesn't really matter. Mine is the legendary lizard. I chose Scarlet because that is the more vicious lizard, like me. Vicious lizard. Vicious lizard. We've talked about this, Kris.
Yeah, I called
vicious like a gecko.
Yeah, pretty much. Vicious little bastards.
Look, I may run away from you, but I am going to stick to your roof like no one's business.
Yeah.
No.
It's unsettling. I just walk in and I'm like, the fuck are you doing up there?
And I'm like, giant eyes. And the fact that I can shoot my tongue across the room. It's weird. No, so that worked out rather well for Kris this time. I'm just saying, Kris, next time might not be so lucky. But
yeah.
Well, we are here to discussing Pokemon. I haven't played. I told Kris this earlier. I've owned Sword since the day I got a Switch. I haven't played any of it yet because I'm really disappointed with it. Why are the starting Pokemon getting so shit? Let's be real. Come on, let's not beat around the bush. The starting Pokemon are now rubbish.
Yeah. Which is why
I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in a long time when I start playing Scarlet in 7 years. I'm going to pick the grass Pokemon. Because it's the only one that looks decent.
It's exactly what I did.
And it's just a fucking cat.
It's what I did. I mean, it's still... Its final form's still questionable.
I actually might have a look at the evolutions because, like,
You should see.
I'm a fire main. Everyone knows that. I'm vicious like a lizard. I'm a fire main.
Well, you know how in how usually like Pokemon have like they just have a slight bounce.
No.
No, I mean,
no, I don't.
They normally have like a slight bounce, and that's about all they do. Or they might sway a little bit, or some of the flying types might flap their wings every so often. That's it. The new water type, very flamboyant.
What are you talking about? What? Don't start a sentence with and then when I say no.
And that's why I just kept going. I just kept going because it was like, it's pointless. It still tells you everything. But in fight scenes, in fights, when like they tend to just, at least in the light since the Switch came out anyway, they tend to like bounce.
Chris, you know I like my Pokemon old school. I like that to be a 2D image only.
Fair. But no, yeah, so that's what they do, and it's the water type third form. It just dances the entire time.
Yeah, I don't like the water type anyway because I'm like, what is it? A seagull with an afro? A duck? I don't fucking know, but I don't like it.
Dead set.
You know what I would like?
Look up its final form.
I would like a turtle that's final form might have 2 cannons on its back.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be a nice one.
Dude, have you seen the Blastoise in Pixelmon?
No.
Okay, the Pixelmon, obviously, the Minecraft Pokemon. Yes. Quite fun. But there's a glitch where the Pokemon can be random sizes, and for some reason, every Blastoise I've ever seen is about this big, but you can ride on it. So it's like you are literally just holding onto its cannons pretty much as it runs along, because it's this tiny little fucking fat guy.
That is amazing.
They're pretty funny. But yeah, no, so like, yeah, I've been a fire main. I've got to look up the fire one to see if I want to choose it, if it gets cooler looking towards the end, but Chris, don't. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to have to choose a grass and a cat, and I hate both grass and cats.
Cerebi.net. So if you want information on Pokemon, you go with Cerebi.net.
You know what, Chris, I've lived my whole life without wanting information on Pokemon.
Well, okay then.
Well, you know what is a good starting Pokemon? Something that looks like that up there.
That is a great starting Pokemon.
If they could take that and make that a starting Pokemon, I'll put the image up what I'm pointing to. I'll put it here possibly.
Maybe.
I'm very lazy. Hey, I did it last week. I came through on that.
Shit, I didn't actually look at that.
Yes. I keep my word sometimes.
But you did say you possibly weren't going to do it.
I might not. I'm very lazy. I'm just saying. Starting Pokemon. I think that would look really cool. You'd like have a final form that kind of looks like a dragon. You could see that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just go like there was a point. There was a point in time where we should have stopped inventing new starting Pokemon and just gone like, we've got a bunch of starting Pokemon. Let's just mix and match them. So it's, like in one region, it's like the starting one is a Cyndaquil. Let me have a look. God. So it's kind of like a fire crocodile, I suppose.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's not terrible. It's not great.
Yeah, no. Have you seen the final form for the other two?
No, I've not. Chris, I like my Pokemon like I like... Okay, that's a Digimon.
It is. They've done it again. They've literally gone, if it's a cat, it's a Digimon. In the last 2 games.
God damn it.
Should be.
No, oh, fuck no.
Yep. That'd be the water type. It's...
We're just gonna avoid that.
Yeah.
No, but, like, I feel with Pokemon that, we've had enough starting Pokemon. We don't need a new set of starters every game. Instead, and this one's for free, Game Freak. Is there a Game Freak that doesn't? I fucking know.
Yes, they are.
Mix what you've already got. Take the good ones, throw away the bad ones, get rid of them. We don't need them. And like, make a game where it's like, hey, you're starting Pokemon with this: Fire, Cyndaquil, Water, Squirtle, Grass. What was that grass one? Savine, the one that starts with S. It's like a little newt thing.
I haven't actually played that one.
Oh, I don't know.
But I don't think it's a newt either.
I don't know what it is.
It's,
But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't even know what to call it.
we've got, do what they did with Arceus. Just put in, you've got your starters, you've got a lot of starters, stop making new ones that suck, start using the good ones that were older, and just like mixing up. You don't have to have, oh god,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that it flicks its hair multiple times.
I hate that. That it's supposed I feel like Pokemon's losing itself a bit.
No, it's the second form.
See, I don't even hate that. It looks stupid, but oh god, I hate it.
And final form.
Oh god. Yeah. I really hate it. Oh god.
That is its animation during every fight.
Why?
I don't know.
The elephant was cool though.
Which one?
The elephant that it was fighting?
Was it just Dongfang?
Probably.
Oh wait, sorry, there's a past and a future version of it as well once you go into that final area.
Remember when Pokemon used to be a simple game about going around an island, fighting animals? With your own animals?
I mean, technically...
Like, it was a bit messed up. Like, let's be serious. It was a little bit messed up. Animal fighting ring. However...
It
was a simple process.
a normal thing.
It was simple. It was just, you know, hey, I've got a bunch of animals, I'm going to use them to beat up your animals. Hey.
It's so weird.
It's just now I feel like they've lost themselves. I feel like they're literally trying to be Digimon now. Because Pokemon was always, like, dude, they're animals.
Yes, that is the past version of Dongfang. Its future version is a bit questionable.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, you don't get the future version.
Good.
You get the past one. Scarlet's in the Zero, it's past these Violet's future. That's why the right Pokemon looks more like a machine in Violet, whereas yours looks like a beast because it's like a lot of the Pokédex entries for the, let's call them prehistoric ones, the data they found in a book from a billion years ago or something like that.
So I mean, my people are older.
No, we technically start in the same time. It's when you go to the area that's sort of in the middle of the map, towards the end of the game. I haven't actually gone there, so I don't know.
Pokemon used to be simple.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
It used to be a simple game about animals fighting other animals.
And it was
for our
easy
amusement.
to evolve them. It was either leveling up or using a stone, and that was it.
Yeah, no, I feel like
Unlike in Sword and Shield, if you wanted to surf fetched, you had to get into a fight with a Farfetch.
Right.
And you had to land I think it was 3 critical hits in that fight without it fainting. Then it would evolve at the end of the fight.
I hate that so much. Okay, so
And
here's my problem.
There's
Right?
one I think it was more of like
Here's my problem.
some dessert-based thing, literally just spin in a circle, as if you were whipping, like just to make whipping cream or something like that, and then it would evolve. It's pretty fucking stupid.
Okay, here's my problem. Right? I've been saying this for like while Kris was trying purposely to enrage me. Yeah, Pokemon was simple. Pokemon was their animals. As they get older, aka gain experience, they change. Bit weird, but works.
Yeah.
They acted like animals,
Yes.
and that was their thing. What you've just showed me about that duck, it looks more like it has a humanoid personality. It flips its hair. It, you know, it seems to want to have jokes. I'm like, that is Digimon. Digimon are, you know, Pokemon are animals. Digimon are literally digital entities.
Well, they're data.
They're data.
They're data, or they're a virus. That is what they are.
Yes, Digimon was far more complicated.
Yes.
However, Digimon worked for what it was. Because it was like, oh, they're this. And it's like, okay, whatever. So they would have conversations with you. They did have personalities. I'm not saying that animals don't have personalities. They do. It's just they do not have human personalities. Animals do not flick their hair with their appendages. They literally rub their faces on things. Charlie always does.
Messes up their hair. Not anything else.
I'm just like, I really feel Pokemon is like, no. They're not animals anymore. No. They're entities. And it's like, they're not. They're supposed to be
literally just ice cream.
God, I hate that. It's just like, I feel like they're animals. They're animals. You know? That's what they are.
And think about how many...
I
think they're called applings. Have been eaten.
Oh, God.
Because it literally just looks like an apple.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, as I said, I don't know. I feel Pokemon, you know, maybe I'm just getting old and I'm being like, get off my lawn, you weird kids and your Pokemon man. Get off my lawn and take your Pokemon with you.
It's about what it is.
But I'm just like, why do we need to keep adding new Pokemon?
I don't know. Like, 100% Cooper's favourite Pokemon. Rayquaza.
Nice. Every new place they go is like, oh, it's got to have completely different animals. It's like,
there is one Pokemon game where you've actually gone and done the basis of what they want, and that is that when you actually get sent out with the Pokédex, it's like you're getting sent out to collect the data, to actually learn about them, and you basically fight it once, and it's like, hey, you've got almost all of its data. You catch it, and it's like you have all of its data.
Arceus.
Whereas in Arceus, you actually had to go through. It's like, use certain moves, catch a certain amount, find out whether it has a male and female form. So you got to catch one of each.
Yeah.
And there was a lot like just using it to fight certain things or certain types to see how its strengths are or what its strengths are. So it was actually properly doing the research on it. Whereas every other game is literally, I don't know, do the research. But the main point of this is actually just to fight and beat the Elite Four. That is it.
Look, I don't hate Arceus. I haven't played it. I own it. Of course I own it. I owned it the second it came out.
I haven't finished it yet.
I haven't played it. There's a difference.
Okay.
No, but I like that. If you're going to change it up to make sense in the universe you've created. But every time they add more Pokemon, they're just like seriously, like one of them is a fucking balloon. There's a balloon Pokemon. That doesn't make fucking sense.
Quite a few balloon Pokemon.
Shut up.
Jigglypuff is one of them.
I hate Jigglypuff. Wait, Jigglypuff is a balloon?
Jigglypuff is a balloon Pokemon.
Since when?
At least a couple of generations.
Wasn't it a fucking fairy?
Actually, fairy types weren't initially a thing.
Yeah, I know, but then didn't they like...
Then they made it that, but
it's a fairy.
Technically, yes, it is still a fairy type, but it is also considered a balloon Pokemon.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
This is the first game. Like, don't get me wrong, they haven't done a lot of games where you see the Pokemon in like their sprites in the overworld. So I was going through, running past some yesterday, and I'm like, that Jigglypuff is floating. That's right, it's a balloon Pokemon. Apparently, it can just float now, which they've never done in the anime either.
I don't understand what they're doing anymore, because I'm like, Pokemon was grounded, Pokemon was the mainstream, Pokemon was the one where it's like, yeah, it's an electric mouse. Oh yeah, it's this, but it's, it's an elemental turtle, pretty much. And now they've just gone like stupidly crazy. It's like, well, everything can be a Pokemon. It's like, no. Because I don't pick up this microphone and go, oh look, it's an animal. No, it's not. It's just a fucking microphone.
There's an engine in this one, by the way. It's literally an engine.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's going crazy because, and I feel it's going crazy because every new game they're like, we've got to add more Pokemon. It's like, no you don't. Your job is done. You've made all the Pokemon. Congratulations. Now just start using your back catalogue to fill out your games. Well, I just go, like, it's just that I sit there and I go, you've done your job. You made the Pokemon. Well done. Now stop making more and just start recycling them.
Well, yeah, because now they've got over 800, and that's...
Do we want to
lot.
change what they look like in certain regions? Yes, good, go for it. But don't remove the original one and go like, it's the Vulpix thing, isn't it? Don't make an Ice Vulpix and say you can only get the Ice Vulpix. Say like, oh look, it's an Ice Vulpix. It's from this area. Here's the Fire one as well. Do you want them both? Good, you can have them both.
You had to trade with someone.
Exactly. It's just like, my whole thing is, you've made all the Pokemon. You've done the job. Now just start being inventive on how you use them. Oh god.
Yeah.
But you know, like I'm just like, you know, as I said with the starters, stop creating new starters and being like, you know, let's face it, let's all be real. I don't care when you started playing Pokemon. You're not looking at the starters then from now going, oh my god, these are the coolest starters ever. You're looking back at, generally it's the first gen going, oh yeah, like first gen starters are still iconic for Pokemon to this day.
Yeah, that's why they're pretty much in a lot of games.
People still know Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
There's a lot of games you could get them like right after. Like you finish Season 4, you go talk to someone, and then they give you one of them. You had to pick one, so you couldn't get all three unless you had someone who, two other mates who picked a different one, and then you just breed them, and everyone's got it.
But you know what I mean? I just sit there and I go like, it's not. You know, like as I said, we don't stop coming up with starters that are forgotten when the next game comes out. Like seriously, who's going to remember Sobble, Scorbunny, and Grookey in 6 months' time?
Yeah, look, it's a thing. Like 100%. Again, that Scorbunny was what I was talking about. That it's final form, it's a straight up Digimon. I don't care what you say, it is. Because, like, to the point where I literally went and hunted down the person to change the names, to literally just change it. So instead of Cinderace, it's now Cinderace one. Because it's a fucking Digimon.
But you know what I mean? It's like, unless you go back and play Sword and Shield, or you play Sword and Shield for the first time, like some of us have to,
yes, you're
not going to care about those starters because they're so just whatever.
No, like give me the first couple of gen, like Diamond and Pearl's like the last one where I'm like, yeah, no, I like these.
I don't even remember what they. Seriously, I don't remember what any of them are.
What,
Beyond, I remember Torchic, Mudkip, and Trico. They were the last ones that I can remember.
Yeah, you know the first three gens.
Yep. Bayleaf, Cyndaquil, Totodile. It's not Bayleaf, is it?
No.
It's the one before Bayleaf.
It is. It's Chikorita.
Chikorita. Bayleaf was better.
It was an evolution.
I never played second gen. Like I never got those starting Pokemon.
Oh, fair. I
wouldn't have gone with Bayleaf anyway.
No.
Chikorita anyway.
I
knew friends who were like Chikorita's the thing, and I was like,
it was fairly popular.
Like, it's not fire.
I always went Totodile or Cyndaquil. More often than not.
Fuck
Cyndaquil.
Yes, I would have gone Cyndaquil in a heartbeat. Cyndaquil to Typhlosion.
Yeah.
He's just so angry.
Yeah, angry motherfucker.
But that's what I mean. Like, bring back the starters from like. Okay, if I was just say bring back the first 3 gen starters, it would be rude and unnecessary. Yeah. We can stretch it to like Gen 5, maybe Gen 6. I don't remember what gens are what. But
so Gen 4.
Yes.
Pretty sure it was Diamond and Pearl.
That's where Chimchar's from, right?
Yes. And again, I went Chimchar. If I didn't go Chimchar, it would have been Piplup.
Oh god.
I mean, I didn't mind the 3 of them, but Torterra was not my first choice.
I'm trying to think of. Okay, so after those, was that the one where it was Litten, Rowlet, and?
Nope. There was another 2 games between that.
Oh shit, that's more than I thought.
Black and White, and then X and Y. I didn't play Black and White.
Black and White was Tepig.
Was that? No, I don't think that was.
It was.
Are you sure?
Yes. I played it.
Who the fuck did I pick in X and Y?
Fire.
Because I didn't play Black and White. I played it a little bit of X and Y.
Which one was Sun
I think
and
I went and
Moon?
got Y. What's that?
Which one was Sun and Moon?
Lytton.
Okay.
Yeah, so, again, the fire card.
Again, like, there's so many now, and not all of them are good, so find the good ones. Honestly, Tepig was bad. Fire Pig, great.
The one I would have actually picked, I think it was in that game, was the frog. If
Froakie? I don't think Froakie was. Quickly,
He
check
might have been
your
X and Y. He might have been.
check your thing. But if it was Froakie, then I definitely missed out, because Froakie's a good one.
Because it turns into Greninja.
The thing is, right, up until I think up until Sword and Shield, I'd say there's a good argument for one of the starters
so-
obviously being the best.
So red, blue, gold, silver,
Yep.
ruby, sapphire, diamond, and pearl, then black and white, then X and Y. And then everything after that we sort of know.
Yeah, but like I said, like Sword and Shield, there was no starting Pokemon in Sword and Shield that I was like, this is the good one. This is the one which everyone is going to choose because it's better than the rest.
Okay, so Snivy was the one you were thinking of before with the... to be honest, yeah, I probably would have gone Tepig as well.
Yes, he was from that generation.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, his final form's kind of cool, but it's just stupid.
So yes, I mixed it up a little bit. Again, I didn't really play X and Y or Black and White all that much. I started Y.
What was the water one from that one? Was it Oshawott?
Oshawott, yeah.
Yeah, it was an otter. As I said, there's not, like, I would say the first three generations definitely have, all three of them are solid starting Pokemon. Then as we get further out, it's like, one of the Pokemon is a solid choice. Like, one of them is like, this Pokemon is awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
just straight up.
But from Sword and Shield
I don't
onwards,
even-
I've been going like, these starting
His
Pokemon.
shiny form's pretty good too.
But you know, like Sword and Shield, when I do get around to playing it, I can't see me keeping my starting Pokemon in my lineup because I just have no.
That's okay. That's fair.
I just go.
I mean, I did, but I also like Digimon, so it being again, it is a Digimon.
I might even not choose Fire again, which is weird because I've always chose Fire. Fire is my starting element.
Well, yeah, it's a cat that plays soccer.
It's a rabbit. Rabbit.
Oh, that's right, it is too.
No, but like,
See, that's how much I've paid attention to it.
I've always had this theory with Pokemon, right? Which is this. Choosing the grass starter, which is technically the best, at least in the original Pokemon,
Yes.
for what you're coming up against, is
Well, now
always...
they've added 2 types to pretty much everything.
Yeah, but...
So it's no longer a case of it's the best.
Well, the thing was that choosing the grass was the best because of the gyms you came up to first. It was the one that had the advantages. Whereas...
This one you actually fight gyms whenever you want, however the level changes.
However...
you could go to the dragon type.
Yeah.
Wait, was there a dragon type gym? You can go with one of the ones you would expect to be the later ones. Fight it straight away, but you're not going to win because everything there is like level 55.
Well,
that doesn't change.
Here's my thing, right? As I said, it was technically the smart money was to pick grass because you're going to fight the water and the...
Yes. In this one, I think grass...
What was it? Water and
one?
rock. Water and rock gym were the first 2 cabs off the rank, so for choosing grass because water on water is just water on water, but, you know, fire was wasn't great against either of those.
It was effective
However,
to rock, but it wasn't
I
super.
always chose fire first because of the way Pokemon set out. You can always be guaranteed you're going to get some grass type attacks in the first Pokemon you pick up. Water's not that rare because you can.
It's generally grass.
Fire. You've generally got to
away.
wait until about halfway through the game before you can start getting reliable fire Pokemon.
Yeah, because generally it starts off
So-
with flying, bug, and grass. Which as soon as you get to a water gym, if you got a flying type, you're good.
Yeah. Well, so that's why I'd always choose fire. So I was like, at least I have some fire attacks earlier in the game before the game like starts being like, oh yeah, here's some fire area. You know.
And I've added in dragon type, fairy type, steel type.
I just can't believe that Charizard never became a dragon type.
Yeah, no, that one was stupid.
No, he's not a dragon. He's
flying
just
fire.
a flying fire lizard.
What did you know that Gyarados was flying?
I thought Gyarados was dragon.
Did they change it? Well, I know he learns flying type moves, which I found a bit odd. I mean, Hurricane makes sense. But
Well, no, it didn't make sense for a dragon to have flying. But as I said, it just doesn't.
Earthquake.
It just doesn't make sense with Charizard because Charizard.
Water flying.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Again, he's another one that should be a dragon because he's like literally supposed to be a dragon.
He's a dragon.
He fucking has Dragon Rage as one of his abilities.
Actually, he gets a lot of dragon moves.
But
It's
it's just like
list of moves.
Charizard and Gyarados should be dragons.
Well, he is a typical dragon.
Yeah.
He's not the typical dragon that everyone looks at. It's like, oh, it's got wings and scales.
He doesn't he like come from like a Eastern folk legend where it's
is.
like the carp becomes a dragon.
Yes.
And it's like that's his whole basis. But yeah, as a Charizard, I don't care what anyone says. He's not fire and flying. He should just be a motherfucking dragon because he's a motherfucking dragon.
Which is straight up. Like, I understand, like, Gyarados, you leave dragon, but learn water type moves.
Water dragon.
It is a water dragon. And I'm like, you think Charizard, you think that type of dragon's always fire breathing. You never really think anything else. So, of course, it gets fire moves.
Fire dragon.
Straight off the bat, they should have.
But I just, so, as I said, I think that they're starting to overblow the starters too much.
Damn.
And what they need to do is start, as I said 20 fucking minutes ago. Take the starters that you have, find the good ones, get rid of the bad ones. We can toss out the last 2 generation of starters straight away. Possibly.
Some people will disagree with that, but it's
Possibly. Look,
I said definitely this.
I haven't played the newest game yet. I'm choosing the Grass Cat. If it's any good, I will say Grass Cat gets to survive, but is the only one from this one lot.
I mean, it seems alright. I'm, as I said, I'm still at a point of like, do I want to keep it in my team?
Yeah.
So I probably
but you know
will
what I
end
mean,
up
like-
finding just another grass type.
As I said, there's always like Pokemon starters have been hit and miss for a long time now, but there's always been one that was significantly better than the rest.
Always, yes.
Unfortunately, now I don't believe that's the case anymore.
No, it's
The mediocrity is growing. So instead of continuing to make mediocre starting Pokemon that people just forget about because
just change it.
like
Just
my first Pokemon game I think was Leaf Green, which is odd, but like I didn't actually play a lot of Pokemon back in the day, back when I was younger.
no, I sort of did.
Mainly because I didn't have a Game Boy and I didn't want one.
No, that's fair.
I
did.
wasn't a Game Boy kid. I was a PlayStation, Xbox kid who did all of my gaming on consoles. And then if I was traveling, I was doing other stuff like sleeping or karaoke in the car. Or, you know, if I was out and about, I wasn't playing video games. I was hanging out with my friends and playing sport and shit. So I never saw the need for a Game Boy until I kind of got a bit older and was like, yeah, this might be something fun to have around.
Yeah, and that was sort of how.
And that's when I got it, so-
I just didn't really use it all that often because I was someone who was always outside.
So I got it when I got Leaf.
Yeah.
So I got it when Leaf Green and Fire Red came out, and I got Leaf Green. I can't remember why.
Well, I had
I might
gold,
have.
silver, and crystal. So I played a lot of crystal, I think, for the most part, because
But-
it was sort of shared between us. So
I'm not going to lie about this. I'm actually super glad that's where I came into it from, because they were literally remakes and upgrades of Red and Blue.
Yeah.
And I was like, got my good starting Pokemon, got my, all the good stuff. And then the next game I got was Black and White, and I was just like, Pokemon's gone downhill a lot.
Yeah, it was an odd place to jump in.
Like, yeah, and I just feel like, instead of doing what we've been doing and making more new Pokemon and more new starters, let's just start recycling some of them. No one's going to be upset.
Well,
No one's going to be upset if the next Pokemon game the starters are, let's say Cyndaquil, random, give me a grass,
I'd go Trico.
Trico, wait, is that, no, Cyndaquil, Trico, and a water
Let's go Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Leave it as Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Yeah.
That's the starters for the next game. People go, I really love Squirtle. I'm going to choose Squirtle. Oh, Cyndaquil's back in it. Let's choose Cyndaquil. It's almost what they did for Arceus.
Oh, they brought in Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and... What was the...
Was it Oshawott? Was it the Otter? Might have been the Otter.
I can't remember.
Kris can't remember. I didn't play it, so it seriously would have been
got
smarter to just check your phone.
I got the game here.
Yeah, but your phone would tell you in like 5 seconds instead of you having to open up the game.
I'm already going this way.
On a phone, we would already be done.
We would be. We would be.
Yeah, but you know, like just start reusing them and being like, hey, yeah, that's right. We're flexing.
Yeah.
We've already done the hard work. Fuck, if it was me, if I was making Pokemon, you could guarantee there'd be like one new Pokemon other than the legendaries a game, because it'd be like, guys, I've already done the work. I ain't doing it again. Go fuck yourself.
Pretty much.
I did it, you liked it, stopped it. It's the Oreo mentality. We made Oreo. You like Oreo. Our job is done.
It's pretty straightforward.
You know, it's just, I can't understand it sometimes. I just go, ah.
So, yeah, it was Oshawott.
And the thing is, I just go, you know.
And the final forms are questionable.
Yeah, I don't like the Typhlosion.
Yeah. The depressed ghost type.
It's supposed to be angry.
Yeah, not depressed.
They got the wrong emotion.
It really did.
But yeah, no, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, that's how we're doing this, but I don't know. It's something like when I was back looking at Pokemon. Not that I bought it all that often, because even now I don't have a lot of time to play the Switch.
Yeah.
I say that like I do things.
Like I never really
I say
play.
that like I do things. I don't do things. It's just the Switch is not my preferred gaming console, so it gets the least amount of my gaming time allotted to it.
Yeah.
But there used to be a time when I actually cared what Pokemon was coming out. Not because I was going to buy it, but because I was like, oh, cool, what are the new Pokemon going to be? You know?
Fair.
How are they going to get into the public subconscious? And now it's just kind of like, oh, what are the new stars going to be? Who gives a fuck? What's the new legendaries? Yeah, who really cares? They're on the box for a game.
It still has all the evolutions in. Fucking got to get all of them. So, heck, look, that's one of the originals. We're still using them.
Yeah, well,
like I said, like my team literally consists of Gyarados and Gengar.
Yeah.
They're legitimately both.
That's what I mean. Like, even in this, Pokemon is legitimately saying, we know you guys like what we did before, but hey, we've got to toss in new things for some
doesn't
unknown
have to
reason.
be new Pokemon. Like one, as you said, one or two, whatever.
One or two.
Like-
And as I said, the other thing is to do what they've started to do, but just not as stupid as they seem to do it all the time, and just other varieties. I use the Vulpix one because the Vulpix is probably the best done.
Yes.
Vulpix Fire, Vulpix Ice. What's the difference? The Ice one looks a little bit more...
Calling it Ninetales at the end, a little bit of a different thing.
I didn't really care about that much.
Just going by the folklore that it comes from, it shouldn't be an ice type. There is another fox that is an ice type, so even like changing the final form to that fox
But
makes sense.
let's just...
Sandshrew on the other hand.
I will hit you with that.
Yes.
Because you brought it up, now I'm going to smack you down about it.
Okay, fair.
It would be... I have no issue with it because they may have called Ninetales and Ninetales because of the mythological connection.
Yes. Yeah.
However, if you were to come across another animal of the same genus that's only slightly different, the name would stick because the name is technically...
But as I said,
the name is like if we discovered the fire one first and we called it a Ninetales because Ninetales was a magical fire fox, and then we discovered like the same thing but it was like an Arctic version, you just call it an Arctic fire Ninetales.
Yeah, and like as I said, I'm not complaining about it. I do like it.
So that makes sense from
I think it's.
stance.
I said that. The only thing I'm saying about it is I still like the ice type. I have no problems with it. The only thing I say about it is it could have been another option if they changed it to the actual.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The folklore.
But my whole thing is that like.
Having said that, Sandshrew didn't change the name for Sandshrew.
Yeah, they probably should have.
Yeah,
just because that's something that we would have done if we're in the real world. It's like, oh, this is a desert living animal. It's called a Sandshrew. Oh, this is a similar animal, except it lives in Arctic regions. You would have called it something like an ice shrew or a fucking Arctic Shrew or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Snowshrew.
No,
If you wanted to keep this snowshrew.
Yes.
But I actually prefer that because, like, okay, yeah, it gives you the chance to have one of the Pokemon that you like, like an original, slightly different. As I said, I don't think we should be taking, like, if you go like, oh yeah, we've got the Arctic Vulpix in this game, so you can't get the fire one. It's like, well, hang on, they can both be in the game, and they should, because they're variants. You know,
it's one of those things that they've put, even in Arceus, they did that thing of like they put Pokemon into it, and it's like
Arceus did fuck up one thing
because they turned around because it was past. It was
yes,
the past, and
I don't think they did. I want to say Voltorb right.
No, I like Voltorb. I don't like Electro. I like the whole Timber look.
I
like the look of it.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's an animal.
Oh, it shouldn't be an Electro.
Why in the past would it have been wood? Like, I get it looks like a Pokeball, and back then the Pokeballs were wood, but...
Well, Stantler lost the ability to evolve. It's got an evolution in Arceus, but doesn't in anything else. Not even the new game.
You say that like I should know who that is.
Stantler, it's literally just a fucking deer. Fine, I'll look it up.
Verizon is a deer.
It is too.
No, but you know what I mean. It's like bring in your what does it call them? Variants. Bring in your right.
So, that's its evolution.
Right.
Only in Arceus.
As I said, bring in your fucking variant. Stop inventing new Pokemon and start thinking of cool variants. Is kind of where I'm going because it's like,
and the thing of having the 3 starters there, because that is where you actually play is the Sinnoh region. So you started in the Sinnoh region, but you went back to the past before it became the Sinnoh region. So it's basically just a small settlement. Is all that's there. In that particular situation, you've got Rowlet, which no one knew anything about ever until a different game.
right.
And it's like adding that sort of stuff in. I'm like, well, you didn't continue to say, people turn and say, they just forgot. It's like, but it was recorded. It was a research thing that was passed down. So it was like, look,
they dig themselves holes. Every video game developer does, but I just think it's time that we stop. You know, yes, have some new Pokemon, but you don't need a game of new Pokemon. Like seriously, 10, and then go like bring in some, and then start mixing and matching, and bring in variants. Bring variants of it all. Like the Ghastly was weird. It wasn't a great variant. The Voltorb and Electrode from Arceus. He wore a fucking top hat.
Oh, Weezing.
Sorry, wrong Pokemon. But it's like, that was a weird one that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it kind of does, because as much as they made it look like a top hat, it was just smokestacks.
It wasn't near. Didn't he also have like a monocle and a mustache?
Oh, it did. They made it weird, but it was, you could literally call it smokestacks on the top of his head. So it's like half made sense, but also like, okay.
Look, as I said, the Vulpix makes sense. It's just a nice Vulpix that looks more fluffy because it lives in the Arctic. It has more fur. Makes sense. The Weezing, not so much. The Raichu that surfs on its own tail doesn't make sense.
Not really, no.
What you know, so stop just going like, oh, we're putting in a variant of this because it's supposed to be set in England, so we're making it look like a typical English toff.
Well, then
that doesn't make sense. Animals don't look like where they're from.
Mr. Mime got an evolution. Mr. Rhyme, it's Charlie Chaplin.
Yes, well, let's just say we've been going on for Pokemon for enough now. So let's just say this: one more hint, Pokemon: stop making crazy Pokemon. Focus on making smart variants of already existing Pokemon. Make only a few new Pokemon. Don't make any of them starters. And start recycling better. Just be better at recycling your Pokemon.
You didn't do too bad in
You've done
Shield.
the job.
In Shield, you didn't do too bad with recycling. Because there was actually quite a lot in there. So that was the upside. There was still a lot of new weird things, but...
As I said, you know, when your job is done, sit back and go, we've done a good job. Don't start going into it again, because that's how we end up with monstrosities. It's how we end up with shit like fucking ice cream Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
It's a bit of an old one.
Yes. So, yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah.
What else have you been up to this week, Kris? What news do you have for the world? Anything? Nothing?
There has been nothing.
There's been nothing.
I still haven't played God of War.
Does that come out?
Oh yeah.
I haven't been paying attention.
Came out like, 2 weeks ago, I think, and I still haven't turned it on.
Is it on PlayStation 4?
Does it have a PS4 version?
If it is, I am definitely going to buy it because I definitely want to play it because it's a great game that I am aware of a few people who worked on it and I like what they do and I'm like, ooh, I want to see what they're doing. Plus, I really enjoyed God of War, so I'd love to take on the second one. My week, I haven't even been keeping up with what's come out recently, so which is odd for me. I'm usually on top of that, but I don't know. I guess I just kind of gave up on good games coming out this year because I haven't seen a lot of good stuff coming out.
That's fair. Yes, it is on PS4.
Sweet, I'm gonna check that out. That's something to do. So, like, it's also like, thing is, PlayStation is my third preference. So Switch is like fourth. Although PlayStation and Switch switch positions for me depending on what I'm doing. So I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem recently. So like
Fair.
PlayStation has been like the furthest thing from my mind because there's nothing on there that I'm like, ooh, want to play this. Like, don't get me wrong, there's heaps of shit on there that I'm like, ooh, want to play this. Fucking yeah. The sequel came out like last year, maybe the year before.
Dying Light?
No. Last of Us.
Oh yes.
Last of Us. Yeah, so Last of Us 2 is a game I desperately want to play. I own, I just haven't.
I don't think. No, I do own it because I got the console. Yeah. Wait,
Death Stranding. Death Stranding is another one, but like these are all games that I know are going to be time sinks because they're not all games that you can be like, oh, I played for 10 minutes and then walked away. No, they're time sink games.
That's the same as God of War as well.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I have to finish, but I do want to play Horizon Forbidden West.
I don't have Zero Dawn, but I have Forbidden West.
So like these are PlayStation games that I'm like, I'm interested in like. That's why PlayStation hasn't fallen off my radar because I'm interested in playing these games. I just know the time sinks that they're going to be, and I have a terrible tendency of starting a game and then being like, okay, I walk away from it for a week and then I come back and it's like, oh shit, I'm in this really advanced part of the game and I can't remember the fucking controls, and
yeah,
it's horrible.
It's kind of why I didn't continue The Witcher and just started again.
Yeah. The Witcher's another one. Like, I love The Witcher. I would play so much of it, but it's a time sink. So yeah, I haven't even been paying attention. But now with God of War coming out, maybe it's time to try and get back into that. Maybe the holiday seasons will be a good time to try and finish off some of those heavy story-based games.
Yeah, cool.
Because I love games like Rainbow Six Siege. The new Call of Duty, I'm still on the fence about. I'm not 100% sure. It's very confusing. Have you seen any of it?
Oh, which one?
How they're doing like the battle pass and stuff in Modern Warfare 2.
No.
Oh, it's kind of like a token-based system where you can kind of pick and choose as you feel like it, and at least that's what I get. It's very confusing. As I said in the video that came out on Wednesday, it's super confusing. Like,
is it in the video?
It is in the video. I literally look at it for some. Well, I might not look at it. It might be cut. I can't remember, but it's this weird system that's kind of like, instead of just a 1 to 100 and you level up, it's like you get given tokens and then the tokens are like boop, 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 and you can kind of make your way through it however you feel. So you can pick I guess that's what they're saying, is like pick the rewards you want. However, all the good rewards are at the end of the chunk, so it's like you've got to spend 4 tokens to get it, possibly, or maybe it opens up a challenge so that you can't. I don't know how it works. That's in the video on Wednesday. when it went through it, I went, "Yep, this makes sense." And then about 5 seconds later, I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, no, that
And
sounds about right.
Then I never looked back into it. But it could be better than a normal battle pass, is what I'm saying. Like, it could be better if it is what I think it is, where you actually get to pick and choose what rewards you want, and you can really...
Rather than dealing with the random shit that they throw at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's like, instead of just being like, oh, you want the skins, the character skins? Oh, well, that's at level 20, at level 40, at level 100.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so I've got to go through and do all of them. Sneezy dogs. What are you doing, little dog? Rubbing your face. Have you tried flicking your hair out of your eyes? Like this. Oh, wait, no, you're an animal. That's right, you don't do that.
Yes.
But, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably better based on the fact that I can choose what rewards I want and how I want to unlock them. So, if I want to get all the skins, because I'm like, I care about the skins, then I can do that first. Yeah. And then if I don't unlock all the guns, then, I wish I had unlocked the variants of the guns, but it doesn't really matter because they're just guns that I can literally make with,
true.
All they do is sometimes they have a special attachment. So it's like, instead of having the normal foregrip, they'll have a foregrip with a skull carved into it. So it's like, oh, it's cosmetically nice, but
I don't need it.
Same with the skins, they're just cosmetics, but I would much prefer to have character skins because I can make the guns that they've got. I can't change the character skins if I don't have them unlocked. I'll get back in the screen. Yeah, so like that's kind of where I sit there. I'm like, I would I like where, if it's what I think it is, I like where it's going. Yeah, so like even in the gun creation though, they've like added stuff like ammo, and it's like, what? So you can so it makes sense. It's like it's a change that makes sense because that's kind of how you do it. You change your ammo based on what you're chasing. If you're, let's say, wanting to take down soft targets, it makes sense because from watching a lot of stuff on firearms recently, like just some like CN Arsenal and Great War stuff and stuff about the Royal Armories, they talk about the difference in ammunition types and how different ammunition is good for different things, yada yada yada, really good. So it makes sense that in a game of Call of Duty, in any first-person shooter, they're going like, oh yeah, let's make it more tactical. You can think about what you're actually shooting.
Yeah.
Beyond what most games have done in the past, which is literally you have a shotgun, you can either shoot buckshot, slug. So it's like gives you some options there, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, it makes sense. Like it's a change that makes sense because it's like, oh yeah, for tactical shooters, that's something that you would actually care about. What are you doing, Charlie? Anyway, yeah, so like in a tactical shooter, it makes sense because that's stuff that you take into account. You take into account if you're using armor piercing or hollow point or frangible or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a place in COD because COD is not a tactical shooter.
No.
COD is a fast-paced and but I had the same issue yesterday.
Like, I mean,
I have the same issue yesterday when I was filming the fucking COD. I could not say fast-paced action shooter. I was like fast-paced action. It's like 5 times.
Yeah,
but COD is an action shooter. It's a game.
Maybe while you're playing the campaign, it's a little bit more tactical to a degree.
You can play it more tactically, but
not in online.
It's not designed to be done. Like
no.
Even the new one where they have stealth-ish sections and you can do the whole mission without being spotted, and it's like an achievement to do it. It's not well implemented. It's not a game that's based on that. It's a game that's based on run and gun action shooter, which is fine. That's what COD is. We don't expect it to be as tactical as other games. Like, as I said, if I want to play a tactical shooter, I play Sandstorm Insurgency or Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
If I want to play something that's fun, I can jump into 5 minutes, have a good or shit game. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's COD. I can jump into that. I can play a game. It's very popular. I know I'm going to get a game relatively quickly.
Even Overwatch.
Overwatch is like even less for me of a run and gun shooter.
Oh yeah, no, no.
Like Overwatch's spot for me is like it's if I want to play a role shooter,
Okay.
because you play your role, whereas like Call of Duty,
you play your role.
In Call of Duty, it's like there is no tank.
No.
You know, if you shoot bullets at someone, they are taking damage and they have the same health as you. Everyone's equal.
True. Yeah.
So it's a little bit better. It's a little bit crazy. Little dog jumped up on the bed.
Oh my god.
It's a little bit more just action shooter, whereas as a Overwatch 2 is a role shooter. You when you get into it, you're playing a role. If that role is a tank, then whatever. But yeah, so there's a lot of changes to the gun, like the what do they call the system where you build your own classes, pretty much.
Oh, I can't remember.
It's like, okay, so you build your own classes, you guys know what I'm talking about. You have your weapons that you choose for your classes and the weapons that you like to use, and then you can modify the weapons to make them more. Well, that's just getting more and more complicated, and I don't hate it. Like, Modern Warfare had a slightly, took 2019, had a slightly more advanced modifying system than anything that had come before it, and it was like, okay, this is good. I worry sometimes when I'm looking at the Modern Warfare 2 stuff that maybe it's gone a little bit overboard towards more tactical shooters like Escape from Tarkov, whereas like you can do everything, but then like the guns are actually more realistic, like mil sims and stuff that have more realistic guns and more realistic uses of those guns have a reason to have all the extra.
True, yeah.
All the extra modifications, whereas in Call of Duty, sometimes those modifications don't mean shit because everyone's just running and gunning. Like in those mil sims and tactical shooters, you do not run out with a rocket launcher and shoot it at someone standing 10 meters from you.
True.
But that is a standard thing in Call of Duty. Like there are games that people just run around with RPGs, launching them at each other. Yeah. So having all these extra tactical things and like having to weigh up the pros and cons of each attachment you put on, I just think it might be too much for Call of Duty. Don't get me wrong, I'm still enjoying Modern Warfare 2 massively. I was waiting for it for a while, as I said in the video that came out. Very disappointed with the skin choices at the start.
Okay, yeah.
We've got of the main characters from the game and the return and like the long time Call of Duty characters, Price, Soap, Ghost.
Yeah.
One skin of each if you bought the edition that came with those skins. Yeah. So there's not even like campaign versions of them. Gaz isn't in it. And he's like, he was the main character from the last game, and he's not even a skin you can choose.
Yeah, a bit disappointing.
And like, yeah, there's just a lot of kind of operator skins, they call them, which are like, oh, we've made them for this multiplayer. And it's like, yeah, but okay then. So there's something that they're literally just a skin where it's like, you know, I'd love to see a good Price skin running around, or a good Ghost skin, or like a campaign Ghost skin if you've finished the campaign on a certain difficulty. I just feel like the skin option is lacking. And I know why, and I did allude to it yesterday. Well, I didn't allude to it, I fucking came out and full on said it. It's because Activision wants you to spend money to get more skins. It's pure and simple.
How most companies are doing it.
It's
like,
all they want.
Doing the same thing.
Yep, dude, I still can't believe $30 for a skin.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's no different than Call of Duty anymore.
Nick the other day, it's like there was a game, it was a Dragon Ball Z game. I think it's the last one on the PS3. We looked at it and like, oh, $5 for a skin? What? No. And I had a full-time job at the time.
Mate, wasn't that $5 for a character? So like you got their moves.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So like,
well, no, because all the moves are already in there, basically.
Oh, I thought that they were like, oh, you know, because this character has their moves and you can.
it wasn't really anything different in that aspect. There are a lot of moves that work the same as another move. They just don't. They do slightly different damage.
Yeah.
But we're like, oh yeah, we'll get this one, and then it was like, it's $5. Do we want to? And it's like now it's like $30. No.
See, like I can. There's something to be said for fighting games, right? Because fighting games always have character expansion, and it's like you get this character with their moves, and it's like, oh, it's like $10. And you're like, oh, $10. But at least they're adding something to the game. Like you're adding a character with their moves, whether or not their moves are incredibly similar to something else in the game, just with different damage stats or stun stats or whatever the stats that they whatever.
Yeah.
They're adding something to a game. A skin is just a cosmetic.
It is.
Like Overwatch, and Overwatch 2 is terrible at this, and it may seem like I hate Overwatch 2 and I'm just bagging on it, but I enjoy the game. But the skin stuff is horrible because it is just a skin.
Yeah.
It does not change the gameplay in any way, but it is $30 for a skin. And don't get me wrong, I want some of those skins. I've got a few characters now who I'm like, holy shit, I main Mercy.
You obviously want the Afro.
Definitely. I main Mercy. I main
like my main
Ashe, and I
support
main...
is Mercy or Zenyatta.
Yep.
They're my main two there.
Well, I kind of have a main in each thing, so it's like Mercy,
so.
Ashe is my damage dealer, and the tank that I've been playing the most is D.Va.
I go Reinhardt.
I kind of want to learn Reinhardt because he's got
that's
that
the
awesome
style
shield,
of tank I like to play.
but I like
not looking
range better.
See, my thing is like I can go into and I can do almost the entire game Reinhardt with no kills until the very end. At which point it's like, well, my team's being annoying now. Better get some kills, and I'll go from 0 to 12 in the last 3 minutes of the game. I'm like,
this is to devolve into Overwatch, but basically what I'm saying is, now that I have people I want to play as, sure, I want some of the cool skins for them characters. And the issue is, I would get those skins in a heartbeat if they weren't $30 a pop. $30 a pop is like, as I said, that's real money. That's real money. If it was like $5, or if it was like, oh, for $30 you can get 4 skins of whatever you choose.
Because I'll throw away $5. I don't care.
And be like, fuck yeah, I'm getting that. And that's still what? 4 skins for $30 is still almost $7 a skin. And it's like,
that's not bad. It's not horrible. It's not
Activision, and it is Activision again. It's Activision again.
It is too, yeah.
Activision. You can make money without being scumbags about it.
True.
Capitalism's good, but you don't have to be a dick about it.
Like literally just during the season pass.
Although, actually, another game that I have been meaning to replay, just thinking about it now, because of all the rage, and I was like, God damn it, if only more games were... I want to restart Red Dead Redemption 2 and actually finish it this time.
I need to start it.
It's a good game. It's actually a game that, because I was thinking about it, it's a game I'd restart playing. I would never restart Grand Theft Auto.
No.
But Red Dead Redemption 2, absolutely. Although we should play some more Grand Theft Auto. Online, obviously. Do some more heists, get some money, you know how it is.
Of course.
So yeah, no.
You jump on for these days to get money.
Oh, to fuck around.
Well, yeah, after you get the money, of course.
I do enjoy a good fuck around, but to fuck around, I need the money so that I can afford the expensive shit.
So that orbital strike on that one random person.
So that when it's like, hey Chris, you want to fuck around? And Chris is like, yeah. It's like, okay, let me bring out all my toys. Oppressor Mark IIs, fucking.
What was that?
Avengers.
Who were we doing that with? Was it Jordan?
No, it was us, Jaden, and we found
Oh, that's right. It was Jaden.
Cormac was.
Oh no, not that one. That was fun. Don't get me wrong. That was
when we found Cormac, and he knew you two but didn't know me, and we were just like.
Oh no, he didn't know me initially because I don't know online games.
Okay.
So it was either we started hunting him, and then I started messaging on Facebook. He's like,
Right.
hey.
There you go.
But, like, that was when he realised.
But you mean the day where we were like just putting the bounties on people?
Well, that
or the day that we were using the submarine to
submarine.
Yeah, that was you, me, and Jaden.
Yeah, it was just like running away.
Yeah, it's really good fun to fuck around in GTA, but you need the money so that you can afford things. And as I said, the K Perro, the fucking island heist, is great because it's like 25 minutes 25 minutes between heists,
Mm-hmm.
about an hour and a half to get the basics for the heist ready,
Mm-hmm.
and generally about $1 million payoff.
It's true.
So it's like $1 million for an hour and a half worth of work, and you can do that in a good sesh like 4 times, and it's like,
And then you just fuck around at the end.
yeah, and then you're like, okay, so we made $4 million today in a game that usually allows you to earn about like what the original heist. It was like, oh yeah, you can do them once, and they're worth like 1 million, and they take a lot of setup, and it's like, and like now it's just like,
And so 1 million split between people, and that could easily drop below, like, you get like 100,000 each. It's like,
well, the problem is it always talks about potential payoffs in Grand Theft Auto, like,
yeah,
and like, I don't know if you've ever seen the potential payoffs for when we've done the island heist, but it's like, so we together, me and you generally make about 2 million,
roughly. Yeah.
Sometimes as high as 3 million, depending on what the item we're actually stealing is. Like, if we're really lucky, we get the thing that's worth 1.9 million, and it's like, sweet, we just made 2 million.
Straight off the bat.
We made 2 million before we've taken anything else, and then we generally take about like 900,000 to $1 million worth of extra stuff.
Roughly, yeah.
And if you do it right and you do it clean, you don't get shot, so you don't lose any of it.
Yeah.
So you roughly make about 3 mil. However, on those things, it's like, oh, potential take is like 10 million, and you're like, fuck off.
Shit.
You're like, okay, even with 4 people, I doubt we could get that full thing, because
Maybe 6?
you can only do it with 4 people. It's a 4-person job.
No, but I mean maybe 6 mil.
But like
I think the highest would be on a really good run, maybe 6 mil.
the thing is, right, first you've got to have 4 people. Then you've got to do it flawlessly, because the second you start getting shot at, you're losing a lot of that money.
That's why I say maybe 6.
And you've all got to fill your bags. No, that's not hard. Like, filling your bags is pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's possible with the bag loot plus the, like, unless there's something that I'm missing in that game. There's like the ability to have extra bags somewhere. And I've never seen that. That's more of a Payday 2 thing, which is also a fun game we should play some more of. We have a lot of computer games that I want to play with Kris. But unless that's an option, I don't ever think it's possible to get the top value of potential take. And I'm like, potential take should be the maximum you can possibly take, not the maximum of what's on the island at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I get that is technically what potential would mean, but it's
So
like, if you can't physically carry out the 10 million, that's not my potential take. My potential take is what 4 people can carry out.
Yeah. Because you can only take 4 people.
Yeah.
So unless it's a thing of like you can, if you do it flawlessly, you never get seen, so you can drop off some bags somewhere, hide them, come back, chuck them onto a boat.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
Like, as cool as that sounds, it also seems far too difficult for Grand Theft Auto to pull off.
True.
Because, like, as good as the heists are, don't get me wrong, they're good heists. If you actually just want to play a heisting game, I do think Payday 2 is a better option. Because Payday 2 is designed around the heist, whereas Grand Theft Auto 2 is the fight online. Yeah, I guess it's online now, because
Grand Theft Auto Online, yeah.
it's not really part of 5, is it, anymore? It's more of its own entity.
It is now. It's still in the same game, but you can't buy online by itself.
I thought you could buy online by itself.
Have they changed that?
I'm pretty sure you can. I'm going to check that right this second. Can you pass me my phone? It's behind you. Yeah, man. You can just buy GTA online by itself now.
Oh, shit.
It's same with Red Dead. But yeah, I just go like, it's a crime. It's like it's more of a mess around kind of fun experience, whereas yeah, Payday is designed for the heist. The heist is what you're there to do. So I think its heist is slightly better. It has its issues. Don't get me wrong, but
Most games do.
Yeah. As the big thing with Payday is just the fact that it's like you answer 3 pages and it's like, that's it. We're sending off the alarms. It's like, oh, god damn it. It's like, wait, no, what? It's just always something that plays in my mind, because it's like one of the excuses they use is, oh no, sorry, I just dropped the pager. So it's like, that's what the sound you heard, or the radio, or whatever they call it. They call it a pager, but it's a radio because it's not a pager. So it's like you're on the radio and it's like, oh no, I just dropped the radio. I'm like, yeah, if you were to hear something that sounded like a, and on the other side of the radio went, oh sorry, I just dropped the radio. You're not gonna think, you're gonna be like, oh, dude, be careful with it. You know?
Yeah.
You're not gonna think like, wait, that's suspicious. Because people drop shit all the time. Fucking, I dropped my phone the other day when I was walking inside for no reason. It's not like I had anything else in my hand. I just had my phone and went, and I went, oh fuck.
I almost dropped my headset yesterday. Wasn't even live.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like it has its issues, but I do think it's lots of fun. But we've also got, recently we've expanded into a few things. Kris is going to buy Raft.
Yeah.
Kris is going to buy Raft, so we're going to play some Raft because that's a fun game. We're going to look into some Satisfactory, aren't we, Kris?
Yes, we're going to get into that again.
Yeah, we're going back to Satisfactory. Do some recording around our world.
Visceral cleanup.
Visceral cleanup. That's definitely something we're going to do. Probably not 3.5 hours again. The good thing about visceral cleanup, though, and I will say this, I didn't know this going into it. The fact that you can split screen. I didn't know about that. So technically, the 4 copies that I own, that I've given you and Nick, one of each.
Yeah.
I might send the next other one to Luke, and I don't know.
I'll have to have a chat to him about it.
Yeah, see if he wants it, because I have a 4th copy. Or if he doesn't, I'm sure I can find someone I can send it to. Send it to one of the guys down south. But I'm like, that means that technically we could have 8 people on those 4 games, so that we have an actual good. So it doesn't take us 3.5 hours.
We could.
Might be able to knock something out in like an hour.
It's gonna be tough to get the 8 people.
You can bring his girlfriend.
No.
You can bring Jordan.
Good, yeah.
I'll play.
No,
with,
but the thing is,
I'll play with you, Georgie. I play with you. Yes.
I suppose if I hook it up to the TV.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Or yeah, okay. Sometimes I forget that when you say that you're talking about the screen real estate. I don't have that issue.
I'm aware you don't have the issue.
I don't have that issue.
It was one of the things, like...
There's nothing but a wall of screens in front of me.
I was just thinking, okay, that works for you. I mean, it technically can work for me, but...
Yeah, but as I said, like, if we could get 8 people on 4 games, it's like, okay, let's do this. Let's clean... Guys, you're wondering why I brought you here. It's to fucking clean. Let's get to work.
And then you're going to realise that Nick and I are going to fuck around like I did yesterday.
See, you say that, but like I was just as bad as you. Like
I'm aware.
By just trying to do things, like you would walk out of a room perfectly clean. I'd go in to fix the bullets, and then I would just walk out. Like I would walk out of the room because we're like, walk back. Oh no, because it's just burnt to shit. Yeah, things got a little bit hectic in there.
And then there's times where it's like I got bored and like my mop's dirty. Let's mop this wall. So I just covered the wall with shit.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Viscera cleanup, Raft, some Satisfactory, Payday 2. That's something I want to get more into.
Yeah.
There's lots of games that I want to play with the boy, and we now have the ability to share with you guys. So look forward to that. So hopefully there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out, and a lot more variety and a lot more stuff. And if there's something that does particularly well, like Satisfactory, for example, me and Kris aren't starting a new game to put on YouTube. No, that's not going to happen.
No.
Unless
it gets big enough.
Unless it gets massive amounts of views and massive subscriber numbers, in which case, fuck yeah, we'll start from scratch and we'll do it. If people are gonna watch it, we'll fucking do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And you'll have to see you'll get hour-long episodes where I'm just standing there painting one wall because I can't make up my fucking mind. That happens.
The advantage is we half know what we're doing this time. So
we do.
So if something screws up, we're like, oh, shit, okay, it's probably this, let's go. Straight to it.
And yeah, so look forward to the Satisfactory one. That one's going to be interesting. You guys can see
Pick a
how...
new spot, a little bit more dangerous.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It sounds like a good idea.
Not really.
Yeah, I think so.
Kris, that spot is the most dangerous spot on the planet.
I'm not saying the most dangerous spot.
No, but our spot is the most dangerous spot on that planet. I'm there.
Oh, yeah, good point. I meant like just...
Kris, I am the most dangerous thing on that
I'm
planet.
talking about the native species.
Yeah, they're not a threat to me.
I'm aware they're not a threat to you.
I am the most dangerous thing on that planet. I have led to so much extinction.
Yes.
And radiation.
Yeah.
So you might see that. You might see Darcy's 100% not nuclear away zone. Or the fact that occasionally I irradiate
all of a
Kris.
sudden just be like, oh shit, what's that? Oh, it's the drone.
I do good work. But yeah, so the satisfactory one, look forward to that one. That's you get to see what me and Kris have done when we're pretty much given the keys to a planet.
Yeah.
And told, do some stuff. Any other games, Kris, that you're looking forward to? Any other PC games or something you want to play? You want to play some Stardew Valley? I think we should get some like Stardew Valley or something like that.
I don't know about Stardew Valley.
No,
Played a small amount of it.
Just something chill. Just something chill. Something chill.
I can have a look at it. I think I do have it on the laptop, so we can.
Dude, I have it on. Get ready for this.
Everything.
PC.
Yep.
Switch.
Yep.
PlayStation.
Yep.
Xbox.
Yep.
It is a really chill game. And actually, something that we have been thinking about for quite a while now. We haven't done it yet. We haven't even looked into it fully yet, but it is something that I have had at the back of my mind. Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not really sure what we're going to do with that yet. Maybe something like a Sky Factory.
Yeah.
I've taught Kris a bit how to play Sky Factory, so
I've forgotten everything.
well, that's good. But like it'll be good because Kris can like get on his trees. I've taught him how to do that. It would need very little fixing for him to do that. And then I can do what I do, which is
We say
the
that
technology.
I need very little fixing, as if I'm not the one who did most of this stuff in the factory building.
Well, you did in Satisfactory.
In Satisfactory,
However,
and then if
it went
problem,
in Sky Factory.
the
Being
problem
a little
arose,
bit-
it was like, Kris, what's happening? Okay, fine,
true.
I'll go find it.
True. But in Sky Factory,
It's
it's
the
a
other way
little
around.
bit more complicated because like you actually have to understand what you're doing. You're not just like, oh, I need power, build a power station. It's like, oh, I need this thing. How do I do that? Oh god, I've got to do this. Oh, then I'm going to do this. Oh, then I'm going to do. I tell you, I kid you not. So like we had a Sky Factory world.
Yes.
Kris did the trees, and I pretty much turned Kris into a cold-blooded killer because I was making armor and shit. Then I made computers. Then I made power.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I made power first.
Minecraft is one of those games where I don't tend to actually build.
Oh yeah, no.
It's like I do a very basic build.
Dude, we had this wonderful
Get
world.
like decent armor.
We had a
weapons,
tree-
and then fuck everything up.
We had a tree library where I'd gone in with like a fucking chisel and done like carving into blocks and shit. We had a power station that actually looked like a power station.
Yes.
Even though that's not how they generate power in Sky Factory. We had a farm. I'd started on that.
Yes.
We had the giant pond for landing in.
Yes, we did.
We had a lot of fun with Sky Factory, and Kris actually, I was surprised. Like, I was kind of expecting Chris's role to be like, send him off to go kill things, but Kris jumped into the tree section really well. And then
It wasn't hard.
It was good though, because it meant that I didn't have to focus on that, and then I could just go through and add the computers once we were there at that point.
Yeah, as long as the trees were there, I'd do the trees and then go
In
kill
fact-
everything.
In fact, I'm pretty sure at one point I was like, Kris, we need this tree, and you were actually making it. So, as I said, I was impressed by what Kris actually did, because I played Minecraft with Kris before, and he's useless.
Yes.
However, that being said, like, I'm only useful in Minecraft mods where there's like a goal and like complicated goal where it's like,
yeah,
I want to make this one thing, and then you end up down a rabbit hole. In normal Minecraft, I am the worst prick you will ever come across, because my thing is like I run around burying zombies around your base.
I've never done that, but I did have a dig under someone's base and load it full of TNT, so they
Well, that's what
would
I was-
eventually trigger it.
That's what I was doing in Jordan's world. I was burying zombies all around his the town he was building, and then he's like, can you just go build a house for yourself? And I was like, yep, okay. And then I ran between those two trees. I'm like, Jordan, I made a house. And he was like, that's not a house. So I put 2 doors there so that I had doors to my tree. And then I was like, okay, guys, I've built my house. Because like there was like 4 or 5 of us playing. And they're like, oh. They're like, wait, where's your house? I'm like, the trees. And they're like, oh, God. Mind you, Cass was building a tree house at the time, so she'd like built this giant fucking tree.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
John showed me. Yeah.
She built the giant tree, and I'm like, I also have a tree house. It's just a door on a tree. 2 trees and 2 doors.
House.
And then I was like, I'm gonna go find a desert, because I was trying to find a temple to find TNT. And I explored so much. Like, I ended up building a fucking giant super highway in the nether with, like, portals off.
Yep.
And, like, I never found a temple. I never found one. But I taught everyone how important fishing is in the game of Minecraft. Because it's the best way to level up.
It is, yes.
And I built the nether superhighway. And I found a desert that didn't have a temple. So then I just started killing creepers and collecting sand, and so I still ended up with a bunch of TNT and buried it. I buried it in a chest next to my house, so that I just have like a chest of TNT just in case. I also built myself a swimming pool.
And Jordan was going with his resource center.
Oh yeah, he spent so long building that, but I was just like,
Oh,
I remember one point they came out because like they were all on their giant building projects, and I was like going back and forth from the nether, and then like when I come back they just be like, okay, what is this square in the middle of this? Because like obviously Jordan's got paths going to all of these buildings,
yes.
but then it's like just off one of those paths is my trees. I still love the fact that like my house is just 2 trees with like, okay, I got fancy later on and started like building an underground house under those 2 trees, but like my house, the what you can see of my house is just 2 trees with 2 doors, so that nothing can get in there. And then I found out that one of the zombies I buried got into my walls, so I couldn't sleep because there was a zombie in my walls. So that was on me. But yeah, so I'd done something because we were talking about concrete, and I just like I was down in the nether, and someone's like, "What is this?" And then like I come back out of the nether and like. All of them are like standing on this black concrete patch next to my house, like next to my trees. I'm like, oh, that's my swimming pool. They're like, there's no water here. I'm like, guys, I'm really poor. I'm like, I'm planning. That's where my swimming pool's going to go when I can afford it.
Remember, I was in a treehouse.
That was like,
it was very different
the
from Cass's treehouse.
The first time I played, they're like, okay, we're going to the end. We're going to kill the Ender Dragon, all this. And then they're like, come on, Darcy, you coming? I'm like, yep. We get there, like, okay, so everyone got their, diamond swords, their armor and everything. I'm like, I've got a fishing rod. Like, that's all I have. Wait, what? Like, don't worry, I've got this, guys. I've got my fishing rod. And then we killed the Ender Dragon, but no one got the experience.
Yeah.
Because it just spawned in the overworld. Like, all the experience just dropped in the overworld.
So
when we went back, might have been Cody got it.
It was Cody, yeah.
Yeah, Cody got it. Cody gets it, and he's like, guys, I just got like 60 levels of experience. So we made the world's most powerful wooden sword because Jordan and Ben were both gone. So
and they broke it.
No.
It has a grave. Oh,
No.
they lost it.
No. I got given it because I had to go rescue Ben from the nether. Not the nether, the end. I had to go rescue Ben from the end because...
Charlie outside. Oh, on the bed. But you decided that it's a place to be.
What you got on your side, Georgie? What was it? Yeah, so they gave me bitch stick, which is what we called the wooden sword.
Yeah.
The uber powerful, like 30 levels spent on this wooden sword.
Yep.
Because they were both him and Cass were doing something. I think Cody was fishing and Cass was building a treehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben had gone into the end because he was chasing something.
Yes.
I can't remember what he was chasing. He was chasing something, so he'd gone off exploring the end. But then he had got lost without any materials to come back. Or anything to gather materials to come back. So someone had to go and save it, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And he's like, cool. So you've got your gear, right? And I'm like, got my fishing rod. So they're like, quickly, take bitch stick and go get him. And literally, I found him. Bitch stick was awesome. It was like setting people on fire and everything.
Yes.
I found him, gave him a bunch of stuff to get back because he had fallen asleep because it was like 11 o'clock at night. So he had fallen asleep.
He does that.
So I was just like sitting there throwing rocks
You could do that
into
in
his
the middle of
pocket. Like I was just throwing rocks into his pocket, like watching the cobblestone disappear into him as I was like block at a time. So I did that for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, okay, time for me to head back. When I was about 2 steps from the main island and heading back to thing, an Enderman appeared and just knocked me off the map. And I fell, and I'm like, guys, bitch stick is gone. And so we made it a grave.
Yeah.
we made it a grave. I went back. We started fishing. The fishing cult started, and yeah, I will say I had a lot of fun playing that Minecraft, but I was just useless.
Well, it's like
And
me and
there's
Nick
zombies
playing,
buried everywhere.
me and Nick playing Minecraft once. I had a bucket of water here, I had a bucket of lava.
Yeah.
We reached the upper limit.
Yeah.
We were playing in survival because we were just screwing around.
Yeah.
But we reached the upper limit of the map with just me
That's
putting the
what
water
Cody
down,
was
him
doing.
going, no, put the lava down, and then it just ended up being this massive area of just, you went inside of it and there was just, there's water here, some lava over there, some more water, some more lava.
Well,
And
that
it was
was
just split everywhere. Like, the game crashed.
Yeah.
It could not handle it.
Well, that was like I remember what Cody was doing because he wasn't just fishing. He was fishing, but then he would stop fishing and start building. And what he was building was just a giant pillar in the sky that had lava falling from it in the middle of Jordan's town. So when Jordan came back, he's like, "What the fuck is this?
Yep.
Who did this?" And we were just like launching arrows through it at each other, setting fire to shit.
Jordan's OCD is great.
Yeah, that was great fun.
It is great fun to mess with.
Yeah, it was so funny though. Like that was one of the funnest things I've had doing just standard Minecraft, because I find standard Minecraft very boring. But when I'm playing with other people, just allowing myself to go off and do what I want to do.
Which is pretty much all I do.
Guys, I'm off. Like, it literally, like, there was points where people were like, wait, Darcy, where did you go? I'm like, I'm 100,000 blocks away from you guys. They're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm in like a snow village somewhere. They're like, wait, there's snow villages in the snow? I'm like, yeah, well, not anymore. I've taken all of their stuff. Because yeah, I was just out getting lost. It was so much fun. I did enjoy it. But again, it was mainly because like everyone was just good value.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that actually wraps us up. We are out of time for the day.
Yeah.
For the day.
Yes.
As always, I've been Darcy. He's been Kris.
Yes. Surprising, but I have.
He's still not dead, even though he did try his best today.
Oh, it was a good attempt.
And always. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. If you like it, consider leaving a like. Consider subscribing, even if you're so inclined.
Good idea.
It really helps us out. And I will eventually get around to the Patreon. So depending on when you're watching this, go look at that. It's either there or it's not. So check that out as well. That helps us out as well. And really anything, any help we can get allows us to keep doing this and keep having fun. And what is that dog doing?
He wants to get out.
Charlie, you're a weirdo. But we will catch you next time. And until then, have a good one. See ya.